Welcome to another edition of Fridays with Fred. My name is Fred Sett. Today's topic is, if you're a homeowner that's in foreclosure or heading towards foreclosure, what are your options? Number one, your option is a deed in lieu. Simply put, you go back to your bank and give the keys back to your bank and say, here's your house. I can no longer afford to make your payments. And then from there you arrange a time and date in which you would move out and the bank becomes the official owner. It's almost like going back to the dealership in which you bought your car and you give them the keys back and say, you know what, I'm no longer able to pay your payments, here's your car back. And then what happens is it's called a voluntary repossession. So a deed in lieu is similar to a voluntary repossession when it comes to cars and car loans. Second, you have what's called, an option you have is called a short sale. And it's a complicated process, but simply put, let's say for example you owe Bank of America $500,000 on your mortgage. But your property is only worth $350,000. So there's a $150,000 gap in between what you owe and what it's worth. So it has completely depreciated. The only way that property can sell actively on the market is if Bank of America, for example, accepts to take that $150,000 loss. And the only way that's going to happen is if you have a proven case that you have some sort of financial hardship or health hardship or any difficulty whatsoever that holds you back from making your mortgage payment. Third is what's called a loan modification. And that's when you simply go in, you still have a job, it's just the current payment you have is just too much for you. So you want to see if your current lender will restructure your mortgage and your mortgage payment, your term, your interest rate, the whole 9 yards to make it affordable to you right now. Sometimes they might even reduce the principal balance, so that back to that example where your property is worth you owe $500,000, but it's worth $350,000. Sometimes they might do a principal reduction on the loan modification, and instead of now that you owe $500,000, you would owe $350,000. So that's the loan modification option. And then fourth, unfortunately, last but not least, is an actual foreclosure. So at that point, you've pretty much exhausted every option there is. And the only thing left to do is to foreclose, and unfortunately, that happens quite often. So those are the options you have if you're in foreclosure or heading towards foreclosure. I hope you found this video very informative, and tune in next week for another edition of Fridays with Fred. Why? Because that's what Fred said. Have a great day.